Miley Cyrus rose to global fame as the star of Hannah Montana, a show that made her a Disney icon. But behind the bright lights and superstar image, Miley struggled with how the character forced her into a double life. She once shared that playing Hannah Montana shaped how the world saw her, and even how she saw herself. Miley was growing up, yet she felt stuck portraying a perfect pop princess. This mismatch between her real identity and her Disney persona created tension. As her career progressed, she realized the role wasn't allowing her to express her true self. The pressure of maintaining a flawless, kid-friendly image became overwhelming. Miley began questioning if continuing the show aligned with the person she wanted to become. Disney demanded a level of perfection that became emotionally exhausting for Miley. She has talked openly about being told how to look, how to act, and even how to behave outside of work. Maintaining a family-friendly appearance at all times felt suffocating. She was expected to be a role model 24/7, even though she was still a teenager trying to figure out her identity. The pressure to appear flawless in public weighed heavily on her mental health. Miley felt that every decision she made, music, style, friendships, was judged through the lens of the Disney brand. At some point, she realized the expectations of perfection were unrealistic. She wanted the freedom to make mistakes, explore new creative paths, and simply grow up without feeling like she was constantly performing for the world. As Miley entered her late teens, she began to feel the gap widening between her real personality and the character she played. Hannah Montana was designed to be a cheerful, innocent pop star, but Miley, like any teenager, was changing. She wanted to explore different emotions, more mature stories, and music that reflected her actual experiences. Yet Disney's scripts kept her trapped in the world of a fictional teenager. She has said that the disconnect made her feel like she was living two separate lives. Playing Hannah Montana no longer felt authentic. Instead, it felt like she was being held back from fully developing as an artist. This realization became one of the biggest reasons she knew it was time to move on. One of Miley's most common reflections about her Disney years is that she sometimes felt like she didn't entirely own her identity. The costumes, the hair, the makeup, and the image were all shaped by a team deciding what Hannah Montana should look like. Over time, that blurred with how the world saw Miley. Fans expected her to always be bubbly, sweet, and controlled. But she wanted to express more sides of herself: creative, edgy, rebellious, emotional. She realized that by staying in the Hannah Montana role, she risked being stuck with an identity that wasn't fully hers. Leaving Disney wasn't just a career move. It was a step toward reclaiming her individuality and showing the world who she really was beyond the blonde wig. After years on a highly structured show, Miley craved artistic freedom. Disney programs typically follow strict formulas, and young stars often have limited say in scripts, songs, or production choices. Miley wanted the ability to define her music, fashion, and performance style without needing corporate approval. She had ideas for more daring music and bolder artistic directions, but they didn't fit the Disney blueprint. Leaving Disney allowed her to reinvent herself, exploring pop, rock, experimental sounds, and performances that pushed creative boundaries. This freedom eventually became one of her driving motivations. For Miley, stepping away wasn't rebellion, it was growth. She needed room to evolve, experiment, and discover what kind of artist she truly wanted to be. Becoming one of the world's most recognizable teenagers came with intense pressure. Miley has shared stories about how the overwhelming schedule, filming, tours, interviews, and promotional events left her with little time to live a normal life. Growing up under constant public attention made even small mistakes feel magnified. The demanding lifestyle was unsustainable, especially for someone still discovering themselves. The non-stop pace contributed to Miley's desire for change. She needed balance, rest, and the chance to make decisions based on her personal needs, not corporate deadlines. When Hannah Montana ended, choosing independence over staying in the Disney system became an emotional necessity. Miley no longer wanted her entire life shaped by a young teen brand and the pressure that came with it. Miley knew that leaving Disney meant criticism, but she was determined to break free from the child star mold. Many young performers get trapped by the roles that made them famous, unable to move forward in their careers. Miley refused to let that happen. She wanted the world to see her as a real, evolving human being, not just a character she played at age 12. This desire pushed her to redefine her image boldly and publicly. While some of her choices shocked people, they were intentional steps to separate herself from her Disney persona. Her transformation wasn't about rebellion. It was about reclaiming her narrative. Miley wanted to be known as a grown woman, a serious artist, and someone capable of making her own decisions. Miley later shared that the Disney years left her with a complicated relationship with fame and self-worth. Being constantly evaluated by fans, executives, and the media took a toll on her confidence. She often felt she had to earn approval by meeting unrealistic standards. Leaving Disney helped her reset emotionally. She began focusing on projects that made her feel fulfilled rather than controlled. Miley also worked on building healthier boundaries between her personal life and her career. By taking charge of her artistic direction, she gained a new sense of empowerment. This step was essential for her mental and emotional well-being. Moving away from Disney allowed her to create a future where she defined success on her own terms. Leaving Disney was not the end of Miley's journey. It was the beginning of her true evolution. Over the years, she has shown incredible versatility as a musician, performer, and public figure. She embraced new styles, explored deeper themes in her music, and used her platform to speak honestly about identity, self-expression, and personal growth. Miley has often acknowledged that Hannah Montana was a special part of her life, but not the whole of it. By stepping away, she gained the freedom to shape her own story. The shocking reason behind her departure wasn't scandal, it was self-discovery. Miley chose herself, her voice, and her future. And that decision transformed her from a Disney star into a global artist recognized for her authenticity and strength.